Okay. What's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a Monday edition of Morning Scone presented by Brock, Orthopedic Clinic, Parish Construction and Roofing. If you need an orthopedist, go to Brock. You need a roof? Call Parish. Unique Physique, uniquephysique.com, Restored Motions, restoredmotions.com, Boatcock Brothers, Premium Cigars. Use code MAT15, MAT15, MAT15 for 15% off your order. Okay, y'all. Good morning. Hope everybody's Monday's off to a great start. Hope you had a fantastic weekend. Tigers win, Saints lose. Probably a pretty familiar theme that we can expect throughout the course of this year. But a really disappointing performance for the Saints up in Seattle, 44-13. They lose, and it just was never close from jump. From the Saints getting the ball to start the game, going forward on a fourth down, and Spencer Rattler missing an open Alvin Kamara down the field, to having a punt, allowing a punt return for a touchdown, to having a punt block leading to a short field. 11 penalty, 12. You were flagged 12 times, 11 penalties accepted. Just an absolute embarrassment in every way. So, I can handle the losing. I watched the Saints lose a lot in my life. I can handle the losing. Because I believe they're in the middle of a rebuild. They're just not going to win a lot. What is hard to stomach is the sloppy play, the unforced errors, the undisciplined play. You're committing 4 penalties in one offensive series, 2 false starts, 2 holdings. I mean, that's the kind of stuff. Or you had an illegal shift. I mean, Chris Olave alone had a false start and an illegal shift. What are you doing out there, man? It's hard. I know they scored 44 points. It's hard to put it all on the defense, as weird as that sounds, because, your special teams gave up a touchdown. Your special teams allowed a block punt, which set up a short field touchdown, and your special teams allowed a 60-yard kickoff return, which then led to a short field touchdown. So, that's 21 points right there. That it's hard to pin directly on your defense. So, now obviously you had a possession right there for the end of the first half where you get down inside the 5 and with 3 seconds left from the 2 or the 3 yard line instead of I guess it was the 3, instead of going for it, down 38-3, you decide to kick a field goal from the 3 yard line. That'll show them. I just don't know that Kellen Moore, put it to you this way, his inexperience is showing as a head coach. Might be a really good offensive mind, but being able to manage a game and prepare your entire team for a game is a different skill set than calling plays. And I think he's learning that. So, anyway, all right, please smash the like button if you would subscribe to the channel, Facebook, like the page, share the post. We are glad to have you hanging out with us here. We'll say some good mornings. As always, Jeremy, good morning. Tiger Poppy, good morning. Ransom Antoine, why did Kamara try to jump and catch the ball instead of running under it? He threw it where it needed to be. On the 4th and 2 is what I'm assuming you're talking about. I think Rattler airmailed it. I don't know that Kamara was going to be able to run under that ball. Kamara was wide open, and Rattler threw a bad ball. I'll go back and look at it again, but the play was there. That's what talk about play calling, right? Sometimes there's a great example. Beautiful play call on a 4th and 2. It was open. You got to execute, and your quarterback airmailed it, or your running back jumped too soon, or whatever. Hey, Brian, good morning. Thomas, good morning. Bubba, good morning. Abner, good morning. Kelly, great to see everybody here this morning. Thanks for being here as always. Jacob, favorite week, Ole Miss hate week. Okay. Ole Miss is, I don't have deep-seated feelings for Ole Miss, which I know is weird because for a lot of LSU fans, this is their favorite rivalry, favorite game. And there's great history there with this one. Just not mine, but it's just another SEC game. And I know for Ole Miss people, they're going to take that as a knock. I don't mean it as a knock. It's just I've told you, like my favorite game is Auburn. I love the Auburn series. Bailey, Saints games feel like wakes. Hey, Chris, good morning. Matthew, good morning. Patrick, good morning. Matt and Drew. Pete hit the floor this morning. Also, Poodat. Poodat indeed. Ian, good morning. Have you guys ever entertained the idea of having a roofing company in Shreveport? Yeah. Yeah, of course. We'd love to expand up there. And I mean, because we're licensed out of the state and we can do work there. I think it's, how we'll grow and expand. But in the meantime, like we can absolutely do work there. We just have to be big enough work to justify sending a crew there and all that sort of stuff. So like, for example, if there was a big commercial job, like re-roofing a big commercial building or something like that, of course we could do that. I mean, we go out of state to do stuff like that. Hey, Chris, at least we didn't get Beastquake this time. That's true. Michael Cook, good morning. I don't know which is worse, though. Hey, make offense great again. What do you think about the opening line LSU Ole Miss? Do you think LSU should be favored by more? Is the line a reflection on how people feel about Clemson? So what's interesting is we posted the line over at LouisianaSports.net because the first line I saw was from Bet Online, which is an offshore service, and they had LSU favored by 1.5. Well, DraftKings listed their line, DraftKings, FanDuel, all that, and I'm gonna check see if it's been updated. And they have Ole Miss as a 2.5 point favorite in that game. At DraftKings has Ole Miss 2.5. I would jump all over that, man. My goodness. Like, I mean, I think LSU wins this game and wins it comfortably. I just have very now it's fair. In this series, the home team has won the last 5. So this has been a series dominated by the home team. You got to go to Oxford. Week about it, but I think that line is a dramatic overreaction to Ole Miss beating Tulane, which is a nice win. And I thought Tulane could have been a live dog in that game. And their defense just got outclassed. They just weren't ready for Ole Miss's speed and tempo and skill. I think LSU's defense is going to be ready for it. Thomas, day 2. So I missed on Saturday. For those that were not here and wondering why we've reset the count. Hey, Dale. Good morning. Orange Beach for the next 2 weeks. All right, Dale. Good for you, man. Enjoy that. Hey, Murray. Releasing JT Gray looks dumb now. Great point, Murray. Man, is that a good point. I wish I had thought of it. God, that is a good point. Wish I thought of that. So remember, they released JT Gray to free up a roster spot to re-sign Jake Haener. And then they did the sign wave thing with Haener. That's true. So you let go of your special teams captain, and then you have a day like that on special teams. Daniel Roof. Morning, Matt. Lots of block PATs and kicks yesterday. Yeah. Are the odds warning us about Saturday? What do you mean are the odds warning us about Saturday? Hey, Deborah, good morning. Ian, why would we trade away so much draft capital in the upcoming draft for players may not be on the team in a couple of seasons? Well, I mean, to answer your question fairly and honestly, the reason is because that's how the Saints go about building their roster. They have always done that. They don't necessarily respect draft capital. They just use it as bargaining chips. So the thought being they're always going to get more draft picks. So like the next year they'll have more picks, and the next year they'll keep getting the picks. So why not just keep using future picks, because you'll regain them and then you'll keep getting players for those future assets. So I don't like that way of doing it. I do like, as I mentioned, the Jalen Polk trade. I think that one made sense. You basically did a pick swap and you got a player. So you gave a 6 for a 7 and Jalen Polk. So you effectively got a guy that was a first-round talent that you liked a lot, still on a rookie deal for 2 years. For a 6. I don't mind that at all. A lot of the other things they do don't make a lick of sense to me. Hey, Chance, after the Mizzou game, a reporter asked Drink to grade his team. He said the last guy to grade his team ain't doing so well, so he isn't going to grade his team as Dabo. Dabo, he'd be aight. Hey, Brian, good morning. Stopping quarterback run game seems very important for Blake Baker's defense. Well, it was the thing that crippled you last year. I mean, look at your losses, and it was pretty familiar undertone. Now, USC notwithstanding, but Texas A&M, obviously the inability to stop Marcel Reed. Alabama, he couldn't stop Jalen Milroe. It was a pretty big part of what went wrong for LSU a year ago. So, Daniel, seems like LSU has enough depth to handle the Relaford injury, but if Durham is out, others will have to step up. Yeah, Jamari Butler had a great game. By the way, Locked on LSU is live. It's the PFF grade, and I'll give you a spoiler. Jamari Butler was the highest graded player on either side of the ball, and that was good to see, because if Relaford is out, you're going to have to rely on Butler, Pyburn, Payton really as a 3-man end rotation. I'd be interested to see if some of the young guys like Dylan Carpenter, Kalaj Cobbins get in there. Carpenter had a sack the other day. Local product from Sanoma. Damian Shanklin had 2 sacks in the game when he got in late. I mean, he's put together. That's number 17 who had 2 sacks late in the game. He is. You walk by him, you go, man, put him on the first bus. First off the bus, sort of thing. He's one of those dudes. Looks awesome in the uniform. But nice to see some depth. Brett, after the first week, looked like they compete. That was absolutely horrible. Gonna have to give more time to grow. But Gumsmack and Mickey has to go. Yeah, listen, I'm not gonna throw the baby out with the bathwater. But with Kellen Moore, I think we also have to he's not immune from criticism. And he's a first-time head coach who I think is still learning. And it's evident at times, like not using your timeouts at the end of the first half against Arizona, the big red flag. Yesterday, the 2 field goal attempts, the 52-yarder that Groupie missed, and then the one right before the end of the first half, don't make a lick of sense. In a one, and then late in the game, he does go for it. I mean, in a 38-3 ball game, when you're down 35 points, it doesn't matter if you're down 35 or 32. It's still a 4-touchdown game. Like, I mean, I guess you could say if you're down 35, it's 5 scores. You kick the field goal, you're down 4 scores. I guess. But, I mean, you're not getting back in the game kicking field goals. You're at the 3-yard line. You gotta score a touchdown. Anyway. All right, hang on.
Parish Construction and Roofing. At Parish, we've got you covered. From the top of your roof, all the way down. Parish Construction and Roofing. Parish Built. Parish Built. Parish Built. From your hometown, parishbuilt.com.
All right. Parish Construction and Roofing. Remember, if you need orthopedics, go to Brock. You need a roof, you call Parish. Brock's got all the subspecialties, and their after-hours clinics open nights and weekends, so you can bypass the ER. Of course, Parish Construction and Roofing. Repairs, replacements, gutters, soft washes, do it all. Love to help you out. Parishbuilt.com, parishbuilt.com. Of course, Unique Physique, which is your GLP-1s, semaglutide, tirzepatide, weight loss injections. If you want to learn more, uniquephysique.com. Remember, lowest prices, never any contracts, do the whole thing over telemed, and they can ship your medicine anywhere. So it doesn't matter where you are in the country, they can help you out if you're interested in learning more. Uniquephysique.com. And of course, book a session with Crystal Poche at Restored Motions. You'll be glad you did. All right, y'all, please smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, Facebook, like the page, share the post, get cranking here. I'm sorry, I'm trying to find my spot. There we go. Hey, Daniel, good morning. Happy Monday. Patrick Rattler was having a good game until the INT. Yeah, and I don't even put the interception on him. I mean, that was a late game, 4th down situation, desperation heave. He had to throw it up. That's his first interception of the year, first turnover of the year. However, he did have 2 interceptions negated due to penalty, one against Arizona on their first touchdown drive. Remember the deep ball, which was horribly overthrown. And then he did have one yesterday as well that was overturned by penalty. Ian, sorry, last question. No worries, man. As many as you want. Do you give Charlie Smith a shot at kicker? Look, man, Blake Gruby's 2 for 5. He's missed a kick in every game. Like, you can't miss a kick in every game in the NFL. Like, that's unacceptable. Maybe they give Smith a shot. You just, like, how long do you go with this, right? Seth, Andrew, Weston, do you think LSU defense is going to slow down their running quarterback? I do. So a lot of respect for Trinidad Chambliss, what he's been able to do for Ole Miss so far. I also can't help but look at a guy that was at Ferris State in Division II last year and then is coming into the Power 4. He has been impressive, but he also faced a terrible Arkansas defense and then Tulane from the G5. Saturday, and also keeping in mind, coming off the bench against Arkansas, when Arkansas had planned the whole week for Austin Simmons, and all of a sudden, here comes Trinidad Chambliss, who they had never seen. And for a bad defense to begin with, that's a big challenge. And then last week was Tulane, where Ole Miss just outclassed him. Now LSU and Blake Baker have 2 weeks of film on Chambliss, and this week to prepare. I'd venture a guess that LSU is going to be just fine defensively on Saturday. Hey, Cody, how about Locked On SEC yesterday? Oklahoma fan defending illegal plays. Interesting. I did not see the Locked On SEC show. The hideout play, I've said it before, we ran that play in high school. I love the hideout play. I didn't know that was illegal at the college level. But yeah, I mean, it's clearly an illegal play. The SEC issued a statement saying it's illegal. Hey, Maurice, good morning. Hoping Tigers are completely healthy for Ole Miss. Oxford's a tough environment. Kiffin will have a few wrinkles for us. Yeah, one of the things that I said before the season started, when a lot of people looked at LSU's schedule, was like, yes, there's landmines everywhere. However, one of the things I like about LSU's schedule is how it lays out, right? Because before every big game, you effectively have a layup or an open date or something. So, for example, look at how this played out. You had Southeastern before you go to Ole Miss. So you were able to rest Whit weeks or West weeks. You were able to give Travis Green another week off. So you were able to get some guys healthy. Now you play Ole Miss. Then after Ole Miss, you get an open date before you host South Carolina. And then it's sort of the toughest stretch where you go South Carolina, at Vanderbilt, Texas A&M. But that's like the toughest 3-game stretch of the season for you, and that feels very manageable. And then after A&M, you get an open day before you play Bama. And then you get Arkansas, and then you get a layup against Western Kentucky before you go to Oklahoma. So I guess the point being, I like the way that it all lays out. Hey, Thomas, Feast of Trumpets starts at sundown for all my biblical brothers and sisters in Scone land, Leviticus. There you go, man. Let's see. D. Granger had to apologize to the national media. They were absolutely right about how bad this team is. National media? How much apologize to me? I mean, I'm the one be getting darts from Saints fans for months and months and months for being willing to talk about it, not sunshine pump y'all for an entire offseason. Tell y'all how bad this was going to be. Connor, good morning from Columbus, Ohio. Is Ole Miss overrated? Morning Scone, please. No, watch. Be mindful of the children. Also, coming to town for South Carolina. It'll be a day game since South Carolina isn't looking too hot. Or will it be a day game? I don't know. Hang on one second. South Carolina is okay. So it's in the 2:30 or the 5 to 7 window. Really depends. Depends on what else. Depends on what else is on the slate. And I haven't looked at the schedule that far ahead because it could be a situation where you're a night game, but you're the night game on the SEC network. You're just not on ABC, or you're the night game on ESPN. You're not on ABC, sort of thing. So it could be that. We'll see. Is Ole Miss overrated? At 13, that's probably about okay. I look at Ole Miss though, and that's a team that really struggled to win at Kentucky. I don't think it's they lost a ton of their defensive talent from a year ago. They lost a ton of their defensive talent from a year ago. Remember, they had gone all in on the portal, and so they lost guys like Walter Nolan and Princely Uman-Mielen and Trey Amos and Chris Paul, and like all those guys that were there 1 year, all in defensively. They're all gone. They're all in the NFL now. So I think this is going to be – I'm very surprised to see Ole Miss as a 2.5-point favorite. I like LSU on the money line. I like LSU to win this game. I think they win it, and I think they win it comfortably, actually. Saints team tried a few kickers this week. Yes. Trevor, good morning. Hey, Mark. I skip the Saints reports now. I don't need any negativity in my life. I don't blame you. I mean, it's it's the hard thing, for example, for Ross Jackson at LouisianaSports.net, it's our Saints guy who's awesome and does incredible work. I don't know anybody on that beat that works harder. Who works harder and is more creative to come up with angles and things and interesting pieces. When the team stinks, it's like, do people check out? So, hope y'all will keep reading Ross's stuff and listening to his podcast and watching. Hey, Keith, good morning. Time to bring the paper bags out for the Saints. Derek, LSU's offensive line looked like a turnstile against Southeastern. Got a bad feeling about next weekend. So it's not exactly true. Actually, Pro Football Focus grades are out. Did that. I mean, you can isolate a few plays, which is clearly what you did, to say they look like a turnstile. In that ball game, Garrett Nussmeier was sacked twice. He was hurried 5 times. Or I shouldn't say Nussmeier. That was total because that could have been Van Buren as well. So let's see. In the hurries, 2 were from Weston Davis, 1 from Cohen Eccles, 1 from Kern, 1 from Ori Williams. So again, some backups that were in there that allowed the pressures. So your starters actually played pretty well, all things considered. Weston Davis had another rough day. That's sort of the big takeaway. And is his job in jeopardy this weekend in Oxford? Maybe. If DJ Chester wasn't suspended for the first half, I think DJ Chester might start that game. All right, y'all. Let's see. Ole Miss 2.5 is crazy. They're at home, but I tend to agree. So, how patient do you think the team will be with Rattler? Could he play all 17 games regardless of record? I don't think so, because I think you're going to keep losing. You're going to be bad. You're going to have a top 5 pick. You're going to have the opportunity to draft a quarterback. You have to find out what you have in Tyler Shuck. So eventually he's going to have to play. So I don't think Rattler plays all 17 games. When they make that change, I don't know, but we'll see. All right, y'all. I'm going to cut it off a little early because there's a few things I got to get done before we get out of the house today. So let me bounce. Locked on LSU's live, AFR3.